Hello, this is Ben Hood, the Vice President of Solution Consulting at Planview. Today I'm going to take you through the Planview Lean Agile Delivery Solution. Many organizations are undergoing an agile transformation, and one of the struggles they have with that is how do they manage a world where they have both agile work and, if you will, traditional work together. If we start out with our transformation journey dashboard tile inside of Planview Enterprise One, you're going to see side by side traditional work with the agile work. So as an example, what we're looking at right now are what are known as value streams. We have a bank where we're looking at corporate trading, cash management, investments, and the area that I'm focused on right now is reducing operating expense. If you look on the right, there are kind of traditional portfolio metrics of red, yellow, green, and effort, which you'd see with traditional waterfall-based work. Looking at value streams here, we're looking at red, yellow, green type information, but looking at things such as points, right? What is the flow of points that have not started versus finished, right? So the benefit of this is that Planview allows organizations in the same tool to manage both their agile portfolios in addition to their traditional work portfolios. As organizations undergo their agile transformation, they're moving towards more of a key results and objectives, or objectives and key results type world, where rather than measuring traditional metrics, or I should say in addition to measuring traditional metrics like cost, benefit, effort, etc., we're also measuring what we refer to as non-financial targets or objectives that we're looking to hit. These consist of both leading and lagging indicators. So if I focus on one particular value stream right now, such as consumer banking cash, and I click on it, right, you'll notice here that our risk remove objective, we're ahead of our plan, but customer conversions, we're currently behind plan on that. We're not delivering all the customer conversions that we targeted. If I want more information on that, it's always one click away. So I could drill through and look at the key results. So now I can get an understanding of my leading, lagging, and funnel indicators. And around the funnel, I could see that I'm not really achieving what we expected to achieve. And if I want to dig into that further, I could focus on the left-hand side on my consumer banking cash value stream. Go ahead and drill through it and go and look at the epic prioritization in that value stream. So now I could see that I've got 3 epics within this particular value stream. Only one of them is currently accepted and within the portfolio, where I've got this other epic up here, this new high priority epic that is still in analyze, right? If I go ahead and click and filter on it, I could see that that particular epic is helping us address our strategic theme of appealing to younger audiences. And if we move forward with that epic, it's going to deliver 300,000 additional customer conversions, which will help me move over the top with respect to the target around customer conversions, right? So the value that you see here is that Planview allows organizations to establish what their target objectives and key results are, measure those over time, and then using analytics be able to do analysis on them. So in this case, I've kind of concluded that I got to get this new high priority epic moving before I run down the hall and tell everybody that let's go ahead and start with this epic. Why don't I do some scenario planning for the next program increment to get an understanding of, do we have the capacity to go ahead with that particular epic? So what I'm going to do now is I've transitioned now to what Planview refers to as planning portfolios, right? So I'm currently in my Q3 PI planning scenario that I'm working on. You can see there I've got, my Q2, Q1, etc. I could see here on my rank screen that I've got 2 unranked epics, the new high priority epic and the architectural runway. In this example, one of the benefits of Planview around lean agile delivery is we allow you to formulate lean business cases, okay? What a lean business case is, if you think about it, traditionally we would plan around projects, right? We would do business cases around projects, financials. We were generally planning for longer durations, 6 months, a year, 18 months. When we're talking about lean business cases, not only are we planning for a shorter duration, a typical epic might be 3 months, 4 months, etc. But also the measurements, metrics, and attributes that we gather around it tend to be a little bit leaner as well, right? We're capturing a hypothesis statement, the investment category, benefits, and then something called WSJIF, or weighted shortest job first. So what I'm going to do now in my rank pivot in my value stream budgeting portfolio. So, right now I'm funding my value streams. So what I'm going to do first, so I can evaluate my different epics against one another, is I'm simply going to go ahead and rank my epics based off of WSJF, right? So I'm going to go ahead, click apply, and then I can see it's ranked 1 through N, all of my epics based off of weighted shortest job first. I always have the ability to kind of ad hoc rank things. So the boss says the new high priority epic really should be the number 2 ranked. I can quickly just kind of click it and drag it to where it needs to go. So now my epics are ranked by WSJF, and I can see over on the right-hand side that as my, within my current Q3 PI planning scenario, we're 19% short of our revenue target. So what I'm going to do at this point is move to what we call our analyze pivot, where in the top tray, I have all of my epics that are, in flight that we're currently working on. I've established my target for my lean business cases. I've got a revenue target of 7.1. I can have cost targets, labor targets, etc. as well. And then the bottom tray represents all the epics that are in pipeline, things that we're considering. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my new high priority epic and drag it from the from the bottom tray to the top tray in my scenario. And I can see visually on the screen, great news. If we do that, we're going to be over our revenue target by $1.2 million. That's great news. However, look over on the right-hand side, there's a dependency conflict. So one of the things that Planview Enterprise 1 allows is the mapping of dependencies. So if I have this architectural enabler that's needed for my high priority epic, that dependency is noted, and I can quickly and easily grab that dependent enabler and drag it into the top tray. And I can see at this point my dependency conflict is gone. And as noted earlier, I'm once again over my revenue target. What I want to maybe do at this point is get an understanding of what's the sequencing of these epics. So what I can do inside of my planning portfolio is go to what's called the shift pivot. And so what I'm looking at in the top tray, ranked by WSJF for all of my different epics, and the red is basically representing where I have shortages in terms of points for my different release trains, right? So I'm looking at it by release train, but I can also look at it by release train or teams on the release train, or release trains, teams, and then if you want the skill sets as well. But what I can do in this, it's called the shift pivot, is literally start shifting or sequencing my epics around from a timeline perspective, so I can schedule, if you will, the epic into the quarter that it fits in terms of our capacity to be able to deliver it. So what I've basically have here is a sequence of epics that I can then go to my agile delivery teams and tell them I would like you to deliver the epics in this particular sequence. I guess one of the final benefits of this, or I should say, let's reclassify and say there's a couple main benefits I want to point out. One is that we allow organizations to make data-driven decisions, which results in better business decisions more rapidly. As you go through your agile transformation, you're going to be doing things more iteratively. You're literally going to be looking every quarter and doing additional PI plans. This allows you to do that quickly and easily. Secondly, with our tiles, we allow you to understand the trade-offs of your decisions. So what we're looking at right now is I'm looking at benefit over time. In my current forecast, we were short of benefit. We were at 81% of our number. In the PI plan for Q3 that I'm working at, great news, we're going to be over our benefit target. But I can also see which value streams are going to benefit from that and which themes we're focusing on. So in the case of what we're working on now, which is consistent with where we started, we're going to be generating more revenue in the consumer banking value stream, which is great. And we're also going to be addressing our theme around appealing to younger audiences. So the benefit of what you're looking at here with what's called an impact analysis tile is when you need to go back to your stakeholders and justify your decisions, this gives you the visualizations to be able to do that. So now moving on, now that we've decided we want to move forward with the new high priority epic, I can use what we're looking at right now, which is my enterprise-wide strategy portfolio, which breaks my value streams down to their portfolio initiatives, down to their epics. This is where I could start to go in and create new features or enablers that are going to support that epic. And as we'll see here in a few minutes, when I create new features and enablers, they will be handed off to the Agile agile delivery teams to go ahead and actually deliver them. All right. Couple quick benefits of what you're looking at right now. What this allows is the roll-up of measurements, metrics, and attributes across your value streams to drive value stream-based reporting, right? I can quickly look at my timelines of my epics and my features, but then I can also get a quick understanding of, do I have overall balance within the portfolio? So as it stands right now, right, we're going to be spending less investments in capital markets, right, that value stream, than we are in consumer banking, right? Is that the right mix? You know, we're not going to answer that on this demonstration, but the point of this is that today, for organizations to pull this information together without Planview Enterprise One, it's a cumbersome process to pull it together. With Planview Enterprise One, this is simply a benefit of managing your value streams inside of Planview Enterprise One. So where I want to transition to now is, now we're going to move to the agile delivery side of things. All right, so we're going to start looking at, you know, here, this is the PMO or portfolio manager view of our value streams, our epics, and our features. And what we're looking at now is the visual agile team delivery view. So very visual. You're looking now at Planview Lean Kit. The gold cards represent my epics. The burgundy cards are my enablers, and the green cards are my features. The visuals on the card help you understand, you know, its relative size, whether it's blocked, how many children or user story points belong to that particular feature. Cards move from left to right. So my demo feature that belongs to my new high priority epic, I'm going to slot that into team beta for their fifth iteration. Everything you're looking at here is my PI +1. This is my backlog planning. I'm planning my next program increment. Everything in this area right here is what I'm currently implementing. So these are the things that the teams are currently working on. One of the real benefits of this view is what I just enacted there, which is what we call connections. What connections allows you to do is understand relationships or dependencies between cards, so I can see which epics belong to which features, or even get down to, if I have features that are dependent between each other, I could set up those relationships as well. It provides that kind of visual reference of connections. It promotes cross-team coordination and collaboration amongst the teams. And so, you know, this is your feature level, you know, if you will, program level board. What if I want to take it down the next level and see what the teams are actually doing? That is the user stories they're working on. Let's focus on this demo feature first. So I'm going to open up that feature, and I'm going to go look at its children cards. Its children cards represent the user stories that are part of that feature. Some of these user stories are happening inside of Jira. So my teams are actually using Jira as their ALM tool. Some of the teams are using ADO or TFS. If I link out to the team level board, it shows me a team level board, but filtered out all the other user stories except the ones that belong to the demo feature that we're walking through right now. If I turn off the filter, I can then see all the user stories across the teams that are working on this board. This is sometimes what we refer to as a team of team boards. I've got Team Alpha that's practicing Scrum. They use ADO. I've got Team Beta that Scrumban uses Jira. And down the bottom here, I got Team Charlie that uses Kanban, and they use the Lean Kit tool here exclusively for user story planning and execution. So one of the benefits that we have here is that we allow if your teams want to continue to work in Jira, we can let them do it. So if I simply go ahead here and create a brand new user story, so I'll call this the user story created in Lean Kit, and I'll put a 4 slashes in front of it. And I'm simply just going to go ahead and save that. And notice it saves it into the team backlog lane for Team Beta. And maybe I'm going to take another user story here, and let's say that this one kicked off and it's now in process. I'm going to move it into the in process lane. Well, what's that look like inside of Jira, right? So if I bounce out now to my Jira board, now I'm looking at my Jira board, right? So this is my Kanban board inside of Jira, where I've got my my to-do lane, my in-progress lane, etc. And as mentioned, if your team wants to, if they want to exclusively work inside of Jira, they can go ahead and create a new user story in Jira. And it's simple and easy for them to go ahead and create it inside of Jira and then start to move that user story through their process, right? Their different lanes that they have in their process. As they work in Jira and move things through their process, that in turn bubbles up into the team of team boards inside of LeanKit. So if your teams are using different instances of Jira, right? Jira's, kind of expanded rapidly in your organization and everyone's using it a little differently. This provides the means to consolidate all that different Jira work into, a single view. So if you notice, that user story I just added in Jira has now suddenly appeared in LeanKit. It's in the in progress lane. It's all red because we've exceeded our WIP limit, right? So put simply, we allow you to consolidate all that different Jira user story that's happening across your teams into a simple visual view where I can understand relationships between the work, as I pointed out earlier. My teams inside of LeanKit can have more sophisticated processes that they want to run through rather than just vertical lanes on a Kanban board in Jira. And what's happening inside of LeanKit, bubbling up that work with my blockers, exceptions, etc., in turn bubbles all the way back to the portfolio view that we started out earlier in the demonstration. So as mentioned, this is your agile delivery team view, right? The visual view that they want, but the work that they do in here is represented right now in this tabular view for the portfolio manager. So, the real simple story is I've got 36 features being worked on. Well, what's going on with those 36 features? I can quickly and easily see 7 of them are blocked, right? So the advantage is here, rather than going into your stand-up meetings and saying, what are your problems, what are your problems, what are your problems? I could pull this up in a stand-up meeting and say, hey, we've got 7 blocked features. In fact, only 5 of the features are blocked. 2 features are not blocked yet, but they have user stories that are blocked. Right? So we need now as a team to make some decisions around these particular features. Should we be blocking them because they have user stories blocked? Oh, I need more detail on that feature. You have one-click access to be able to access that feature in the Agile delivery view. So the point is, the value that we're providing here is that we have the right experience for your Agile delivery teams and the right experience for your portfolio managers. And we're taking that lower level status and exception information all the way from the user story and bubbling it up into the portfolio. And frankly, with the customers I've spoken with, that is one of their biggest pain points with Agile delivery, that they have no way to consolidate all of that information up into a portfolio view. Planview automates that whole process for you.